Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy. In today's video we are going to be working with these Cottage Roses papers from Not2Shabby Shop. So let's go ahead and jump in. In case you didn't know, Kendra's card challenge is a challenge where you take six 6x6 sheets of pattern paper and create typically 15 cards, but for this challenge it's 18. So you get to actually make 4 cards out of the last sketch. And you can enter to win prizes. And for instance, our super sponsor for this hop is the Not2Shabby Shop, with all kinds of amazing goodies in the shop. I'm a designer on the team, so I should know. But hey, let's jump into the video. Today I'm going to be working with sketch number 7. But first I wanted to show you the goodies that Not2Shabby Shop sent me. They're having a free virtual craft retreat, and I'll have the information listed down below. So I've got this die that says Bloom. I've got these enamel dots which are really gorgeous. It's called Rose Cottage. And then the ephemera pieces called a Cottage Roses, and I'll lay those out for you here in just a moment. So here they are all laid out, and everything's different here. There's nothing that's duplicated. There's one that's smaller than the other, but other than that, they are every single one of them different. So you can get a lot of cards out of it. And here are the papers all laid out, and those papers are from the Cottage Roses 6x6 paper pad. And we are going to be working with sketch 7, and so I can take advantage of these beautiful papers. So I've cut everything out. I've embossed the panel here. And while I put these together, I just wanted to show you that I do lay these out on a 4x4 square because I'm going to be laying them on top of an embossed panel. Now you could cut down the panel if you wanted to, and probably, probably would work better, but I'm doing it this way, so there's that. So just to let you know that this is a hop video, and I will have a link to the hop playlist, spit it out, T, listed in the description box below, as well as where you can get these goodies and the prize entry form. So there's a link to a prize entry, and all you need to do is click that link at each stop along the hop, and you can enter to win at each stop. So, and that would be a prize from Kendra. So I've got these all glued here, and I am going to trim this back a little because my eyes didn't see that I was off by a fly's eyelash. So we'll get that excess trimmed off there. There's just a tiny bit of excess off to the side, and that makes it easy to put together. I was excited that even though I'm a design team member for Not2Shabby Shop, that I was eligible to do this for Kendra's card challenge because I love Kendra's card challenges. And so I've just embossed these with a floral embossing folder from my stash. I couldn't even tell you the name of it. You know how lots of them don't have names on them, and I don't keep them in the packaging. I can't be asked. So I'm going to lay this strip down according to the sketch, and you could totally not use this strip if you wanted. But I'm going to follow the sketch as much as possible. And I'll just trim off that excess piece, and then I can go ahead and glue this down to the top. And I'm going to use a lot of liquid glue just to make sure that it stays stuck. Isn't that pretty paper? I love it. It's so soft. And get that stuck down, and then I'm going to use one of my peel-off stickers from my Love from Lizzie just to add to this very bottom right here. Just for a little bit of an added separation between the two sheets of paper. And then the rest is easy because I'm using ephemera, and I already die cut the words. So the sketch calls for 3 pieces of anything, basically. And so I'm going to decide what my anythings are going to be. And I set that little rose aside because it's going to go on the inside of the card. And I'm going to go ahead and use some paper here and kind of build up each end of my little piece of ephemera so that it sits evenly across the piece of paper that I have as a strip there. In hindsight, I could have used the Love from Lizzie strips there, and they wouldn't really stick up much, but I didn't, so there's that. So this one already has a sentiment on it, and I decided to go for the little t-shirt, little side tie t-shirt, and with all the really pretty little flowers. And I'm going to pop that up, and I'm going to struggle and fuss with these little foam things that I will never buy again. They're just kind of hard to get the backers off. So I went ahead and did the rest of that painful situation off camera. Now I'm sticking the shirt down. And then I think I'm going to pop these flowers up even higher. So I'm going to grab some not so painful foam tape and use it to pop it higher than the rest of it. Grab a couple of pieces here. I'm just going to kind of wrap it on, cut it off, do whatever I need to do to get it on there. And I do want to make sure I get plenty so that it, you know, doesn't bow on me. There we go. Just put that right about there. Because my bigger piece of ephemera was oblong, I need to kind of adjust positioning of other things. And I noticed that my bloom doesn't fit in the area. So I'll make that adjustment on the next card. I'm just going to let it come over. I don't mind. I did stack that 3 high with some 110-pound cardstock. So I'm not concerned about anything happening to it. And let's go ahead and get into these enamel dots here. And I'm going to use the green ones for this card to pull in the green from the florals. And I'll just put 3 little dots, and then we'll move on to the next card. Get on there. There we go. On the next card, I lose one, and it's stuck to my thumb. I don't feel it. All right, so I've got this sort of blue-gray kind of cardstock that goes nicely with the furniture that I'm putting on here. So same process, just gluing down the 4 strips onto this 4x4 piece of really thin cardstock, probably 65-pound. And you do want to make sure that if you're doing this one and you have a directional pattern, that you cut your papers in the right direction. And when you cut your papers with Kendra's Card Challenge's PDF instruction file, it does tell you that. There are little arrows showing, if you're using directional paper, what direction the paper should go, if it needs to go any direction. So very helpful with the cutting guide. Of course, I'm just doing individual sketches, so I'm not using the cutting guide. Okay, and I know it probably to you looks kind of weird with that gray, but you'll see it'll all come together once I get my ephemera on there. So again, putting down the strip. And this time, after I trim that off, I'm going to put my Love from Lizzie sticker on first so that I don't have to struggle with trying to cut off the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down first to a white top folding card base. And that was the main reason why I wanted the full panel, is because my card bases are a little on the flimsy side. It's supposed to be 100-pound cardstock, but you could have fooled me. You ever get that? So I'm going to go ahead and lay this strip, and these are white with a little bit of gold. So it just gives that tiny bit of gold to the card without being in your face gold. I'll cut off this other edge, but it goes very, very nicely. And same process, gluing this down. So I hope you'll hop along and give your thumbs up to all the hoppers. Leave comments. We all love getting your comments. See, now the blue chair there pulls in, the kind of blue-gray chair, weathered wood color, pulls in the color from the bottom. I'm cutting up some thin strips here that I can glue down to the furniture on the legs part so that they don't, buckle under the height of that one line. Words are hard. So we've got those 2 pieces. Now I'll grab this thin strip, go ahead and lay my glue down, and I'll just cut the pieces down and fit them on here. They don't have to be perfect, but we don't want them sticking out either. Get this one on there. If there's any sticking out, I'll trim it off. Little piece there. There we go. And I'll go ahead and glue this first piece down. So this will represent the first piece of ephemera. And again, it's a large piece of ephemera. I love it. I think it's so cute. And then I'm going to put the little vase. I'm going to have 2 vases of flowers, and I decided I would put this one straight down. I want a little bit of that chair leg showing. And then I'm going to pop up the second vase. And I did trim down some of that top panel so that my bloom will fit, and it does. So I probably trimmed 1/4 inch off. And I mean, you don't have to do that. You can put any sentiment you want, but I wanted to use everything in the kit, so there's that. Okay, kind of audition where I want this. I was going to move that, but I changed my mind because it's already pretty stuck down. So I'll go ahead and just stick this down. And call it happy. See, now my bloom fits. Barely, but it does fit. So I'll go ahead and use some liquid glue to get that glued down. There we go. Just going to give it a little press here for a moment. And then I'm going to grab these sort of blue color, sort of a blue-gray color. See, I lost it. It's stuck to my thumb and I don't even realize it. I'm like, where is it? Okay. There you are. Sneaky little thing. Get a little one there. And I think I'm going to put another little one here. And that's it. That's 2 cards. So don't forget to support our super sponsor, the Not2Shabby Shop. And see, I saved a couple of the scraps here to put on the inside, just as a little decorative thing, you know. And I'll put one of those little roses, and I'll do that to each of these cards with the leftover scraps. And I still have other scraps left over I can use for something else, and I do save them. See, I have another little rose here. It's got a little paper flash hanging off it. I had to get off of there. There we go. There are the 2 cards. Made with sketch number 7 from Kendra's Card Challenges. Let me just pick up all the distractions here. Okay, so all cleaned up. Here we go. Here are my 2 cards up close and personal with sketch number 7. Thanks so much for coming. If you like my video, please leave me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for coming. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.